Well, welcome back, YouTube. This is episode 26. In this specific video, we are going to be working exclusively on the roof deck and trying to get that finished. Unfortunately, I have to break this one up into two parts as well. You'll have to watch the video to figure out why. So with that said, it's raining, it's overcast. I need to get my equipment out of the rain. So let's go take a walk and see what I got done. Alright everyone, look, it is actually Tuesday, July 22nd. I've been focusing on the mini split install, but I wanted to bring you up to date on the other things that I've been doing with regard to the deck install. So I'm making actually two videos at the same time. One is focused on cooling in the mini split, the other is the deck. So what I'm here to try to enlighten you with is what I've done with regard to doing the work that I need to do to get the deck installed. So as you can see, I've got holes drilled right here. In the last episode I told you that on these I would have one hole in the center. Although I made a mistake, I corrected it with captions, but I would have two. And you can see going across here, I have two there. And then coming over here, I have one going right down the center. One of the things that I want to point out is that I realized that the bolts that I have are too long. And so I had to adjust, modify, and measure to make sure that each one of these holes came through where there was an opening in the unistrut. Otherwise the bolt would not tighten down, it would run into the unistrut. And so I had to fight my OCD, so they'll be lined up across this way perfectly, but this way they won't be. And that's because I have to miss unistrut metal and actually get them to go. One of the other things that I found, if you look right here, you see that hole right there. That hole right there actually comes down. It should have been where I wanted it, in the center. So I'm gonna have to put two bolts in here, even though I only want one. That comes down right on top of a unistrut clamp for one of the cross members that go across this way. I am not drilling through a stainless steel bolt. So I drilled through the wood, realized that I screwed up, backed it out, and then put two holes here. So I'm going to put two bolts there. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to bolt this board completely down and get it in place. Then I'm going to remove this one, because as you can see I've got clamps in place. I'm going to remove this one, and then I'm going to use this one to clamp everything off of as I go all the way across. I've got the clamps that'll do it, but I don't have enough room to go between the solar panels and this board. So I'm going to take this board out. Once I take this board out, I'm going to, I don't know, use cheater bars or whatever to tighten it up and get it bolted in as well. But the other thing that I did is where the clamps are for the solar panels, I used my oscillating tool and I actually cut out the bottom part of the tongue that was on here, so that it would sit on top of the clamp and move right up to the bolt. It doesn't interfere with the bolt. It doesn't interfere with me taking out the clamp, but it does actually give me the ability to square this up. One of the other things that I found in putting this together and squaring it up and all that is that I don't know if you remember, I was so proud of myself that I was able to get all of the solar panels to line up to the outside rails. Well, that was not a bonus, that was a problem. And the challenge that I run into is that the outside rails that run across the outside of the bus, although they matched up with the edge of the struts that went across the roof, this side was not parallel to that side. As a result, this panel was not square to that panel. So one of the things that I did was I actually set up a mechanism. I don't know if you saw my video on the sawmill, when I built up the sawmill using the double squares and the line level and all that. I used some steel angle iron and squared this thing up and actually married up the solar panels regardless of the outside rails. So the edge of this solar panel is directly in line with the edge of that solar panel. This solar panel is square with that solar panel, regardless of what happens on the outside edge. And if you look down there, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see that the solar panels are a little bit mismatched right there and right there on the corners. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is adjusting and moving all of the solar panels this way a little bit to accommodate for what I did down here. One of the other things that I think, and I haven't been able to verify it yet, but I won't be able to until I get all of the decking in, is I think that, if you remember that in the last episode I talked about how I was concerned about how far off from the outside edge these panels were. I think it's because when I put these in, they are way out of square. So what I'm going to do is, as I get the decking going all the way across and I get the decking finished, I'm going to square these up right here and right here to the decking, and then fix those to where they need to be so that everything lines up. So we'll see how that works. I'm not there yet. I've got a lot more work to do, but I did want to bring you up to date on what I've done with regard to the panels back here and the adjustments that I may have to make back here, and the adjustments that I made up here to actually make sure that my decking is square and my solar panels are square regardless of what the outside rail is doing. So that's where I'm at. I will keep working this. I'm going to be doing mini splits and this at the same time, so we'll be going back and forth. I'll be doing 2 separate episodes, one for roof deck, one for cooling, and whichever one comes out first will be the next episode. So that's where I'm at right now, and I just wanted to bring you up to date on what I've been doing and what I've got done so far. So with that, I am going to shut it down, and we'll see what happens next. Well, welcome back, guys. I'm on the roof. It is Saturday, July 26th. I am trying to get the roof done. I lost about an hour and a half worth of work because I was supposed to be at a severe thunderstorm with about an hour and a half rain. Seems that the cell split apart, went right over the top, and I didn't get any rain. So I am taking advantage of the fact that there's no beating sun, there's an overcast sky, and I'm going to see how much of this roof top deck I can get bolted down. So with that, I'm going to put it on time lapse. We're going to see what we can get done, and I'll bring you back when the time lapse is over, and I'll get as much done as I can. It'll either be dark or I'll be done, one or the other. So let's get out. after all that time, I only got 5 boards in. But that is everything that I had drilled except for my first board. But I need to pull that out so that I have a place to put my clamps to pull this stuff together. I've got some longer clamps sitting in the truck that I can use, but I forgot to bring them up here and I don't have anything drilled. So all that time I got 5 boards. This is going to take forever. Anyway, I just wanted to show you how I was doing it and how I was pulling it together and clamping it down and bolting it down. So it proved to be very challenging and trying to get those bolts through the boards and then lined up to those strut nuts. But at any rate, I got it done and figured out a system, and we'll start moving on. We'll get back to it. All right, guys, we're back on the roof. It is Tuesday, July 29th. I have not done anything on the roof today, but I did do quite a bit on yesterday. Well, I say quite a bit. I got stuff done. So what I want to do is show you what I got done yesterday. Haven't been able to do much on the roof. It's been hot. It's been humid. And the sun's blaring down right now, and I'm gonna have to hurry up and get this done before my GoPro overheats. But I do want to share with you that I've got, when I left you last, I had bolted down every board that I had holes drilled in. So what I have done to yesterday is drilled the holes for every single board up to the final board where it meets the solar panels. So let me show you that real quick. So as you can see right here, I've got my holes drilled right here up to this board, nothing there. Coming over here in the center, I've got my 2 holes drilled. My OCD is killing me because they're not all evenly spaced, but I can't do that because of the unistrut. Coming over here, the last board, I've got all my holes drilled in the centers or close to the center there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boards that I can bolt down. Once I get all of these boards bolted down, then I go out here and then cut and clamp my outside strip of aluminum on there. I'm going to drill the holes up through the bottom so that I know where I need them to be, so I don't have to do all this constant measuring and screw that up. So I'm going to drill all the holes. I'm going to clamp the aluminum down on top, drill all the holes up through the top, make them big enough so that the bolts will go down into the strut nuts, and then I'm going to be able to have the tremendous amount of fun of figuring out how to line up those strut nuts through the aluminum, through the board, and into the nut, and then be able to tighten it down as I work across this thing. Going to be fun. I am constantly thinking about how I'm going to do that. Once I get that done, I mean, to be honest with you, I can't do that part until I get this board in place. Once I get this board in place, I can line up that solar panel right there, get that solar panel lined up in alignment with the boards on both sides, adjust the back boards, then I can come back over here and get this board in, finalize that. And then at that point, it's just walking down the rails over there, walking down the rails over there, up to my emergency hatch, and then I got to figure out and engineer and decipher how I'm going to do that. But that's where I'm at on the roof right now. Slowly making progress. It is not going near as fast as I want it to. As soon as that beaming sun that you see up there, sorry for blinding you, but as soon as that goes down a little bit and gets behind the trees, I might come up here and try to fasten some of these down. But that's where I'm at right now on the deck build. I'm thinking and I'm hoping that these walkway boards are going to go really, really quick, because it's 4 bolts, board, and I should be able to get them knocked out pretty quick. So that's where I'm at. One of the things, once I get these all lined up and in place, I'll be able to lock this one down as well. I got to get this one locked down before I can start my walkway board. So that's where I'm at on the rooftop deck. If I can get some stuff done today before the sun goes down, I'll bring you back up and I'll show you what I got done. Alright guys, it is Sunday, August the 3rd. I'm back on the roof. When I last left you, I had gone through and drilled some holes. I'm tired of fighting my mini split right now, so I'm up here to fill those holes with bolts and get these boards fastened down. and try to make some accomplishments on this roof. Unfortunately, the sun's kind of hot today, so I'm not going to leave my GoPro up here. I am going to shut it down, get it inside, do the work, and then I'll come back and show you what I got done. Well, welcome back to YouTube. I am back on the roof. I have been busy all day, and I do have a tremendous sense of accomplishment. Not as much as I wanted, but hey, it is what it is. So what I want to do now is take you for a walk and show you what I got done and what I still need to do, and run you through everything that I got in place. So let's take a walk. Well, as you can see, I got all my boards in all the way up to the solar panels, all the way across. I've got all my bolts in. They're all set and staged. I was able to get a couple of the boards in on this side. That last gray board that is bolted down is the back side of my emergency hatch, so I couldn't go any further. I need to figure that out. One of the things that I do want to show you too is that I clamped in my well, I cut it and then I clamped in my 1.5 inch aluminum piece, so that's what it'll look like from up here. I'll show you what it'll look like from down there. One of the other things that I did was I started working down this walkway. As you can see, I've got bolts going all the way down up to my max air pin, and they come all the way back up. Going to the other side of the fan, you can see that I've got bolts going all the way up to that point right there on that gray board. Coming across that gray, I don't know what happened, my camera died, but anyway, problem that I have with the reason that I stopped at that board, I was trying to get all the way out to the end, but the reason I stopped at that board is I ran out of hardware. So I've got everything done here that I can do. I need to get some more hardware and I can carry it out to the end there. Coming over here, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my emergency hatch and how that's going to work, and then figure out what I'm going to do back there. But for the most part, the entire roof deck is complete. I do need to do the aluminum on this side, and I will, but I haven't got there yet. So I'm going to take you downstairs, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like from the bottom downstairs. And at this point, because I've got to order hardware, I've got to do a whole bunch of other stuff, I've got to do some engineering, I'm going to wrap this up. It's not going to change. You'll see more bolts going all the way down to where the horns are down there when it's done. And then I'll come back and show you what I did to fix my emergency hatch and what I did back there. So we will take it downstairs. I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. And we're going to wrap this up so that I can get at least one video done, having a sense of accomplishment. As soon as it's over, I'm going back to that mini split. All right, well, there it is. I've got it clamped in place. I got everything tight. What I'm going to do at this point is come in from the bottom, drill some pilot holes through where I want to put the bolts. Get those drilled through from the bottom on pilot, and then come in from the top and drill a regular size hole. And then figure out how in the hell I'm going to work on getting all those strut nuts in there. I can't do that until I get more strut nuts, because I ran out of those too. So roof is on hold until I get some more hardware, but I wanted to show you what that's going to look like. I do have an idea for that corner back there, and I'm going to work on that, but I got to get all this mounted and in place before I can do it. So I am going to wrap this one up. I am going to close it out. I'm going to get it out, and at this point I'm going back to that stupid mini split, see what I can do there. Have a good one.